All right, I think we are live. Again, I always hate this, like, just before we go live, like, I'm waiting for it to pull up, and I'm just like, oh, when will it ever get here? We're here. Welcome to another episode of the MFG Cast. We are going to be running into session one of our Cthulhu campaign. This is going to be called Mask. We actually did a session zero. So if you want to learn more about the characters and their backstories, like we'll kind of get into that as we go through this campaign as well. But if you want to learn more about our characters, go and check that out. Because I'm sure as soon as we kind of jump into this, you're going to be like, but wait a minute, I don't know about this person. Like, you're going to want to listen to that. There's some good backgrounds and stats on our players. But just to kind of get ourselves into it, um, our characters Maxwell and Grant um, have kind of been working together. Maxwell as a um, uh, an what would you call that? Call yourself again? Like an art,
He's a gallery owner
like a gallery owner. Yep,
or
yep.
like,
And you,
half partner maybe or whatever. Like, I don't know if gallery owner is too much, but like, partner, whatever, right? Like
yeah,
he
yeah.
does the fancy walk arounds. They do like the champagne thing when they have like an artist come in and show all their stuff. Like that's his deal.
That's his deal. Yep. And then you come upon Grant, who is this very excellent art forger. And unbeknownst to some people, Maxwell has a checkered past. These two kind of hook up and have run some art theft, a lot of it very small time. But we are going to be getting into some more big time stuff as one of their contacts, Coy, is going to tell you about a contract coming up, something that a piece that you're going to be wanting to steal, and you guys need some. Um, you're going to need some backup. You're going to need some heavy guns, so to say. Um, so, do we want to? Do we want to role play how that conversation goes with Coy, or do we want to just get into the point of you guys uh, contacting Ryan and kind of getting things kind of started before Coy contacts you about what's going to be happening with this heist?
I feel like we probably maybe we already have a meeting set up and Ryan's on his way. So
Okay.
it's like Grant and I sitting having a conversation about like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, are you sure?
Yeah. So where are you having this? Are you having it at somebody's house? Or are you having it at the gallery? Obviously, you're probably not having it at the gallery, but like where are you having this meet?
I assume someplace public, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I was
coffee
gonna say.
shop, something along those lines.
Hmm.
Is
Okay,
that where
cool.
you're at, Kevin?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Ivy Bar, depending on
Oh, bar, yeah.
Maxwell's. Yeah, bar somewhere, grabbing a
Okay.
drink.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Um, so our setting is Pensacola, Florida. So you're probably going to go. I'm gonna say this is during like heavy spring break. So like you're gonna want to go like a really seedy dive bar. Otherwise, you're gonna be inundated with just a bunch of different, co-eds and spring breakers and a bunch of annoying young people that have come down just to, have some sun, some fun, and do some, dumb things. So you're at this really small bar. We're gonna call it Eddie's, and there's this like really like dark corner in the back, and it's funny because it's where a pool table is, where you think there would be more light, but it's really like dim and kind of gross, and like no one even really plays pool back there unless they're trying to shark somebody for a couple of 50s or something like that. So we'll say that you guys are just kind of seated back there and talking. So do you guys want to kind of talk about Ryan before he gets there, or are we gonna introduce him? No.
I think we have a conversation beforehand, but what the
Okay.
camera sees, right? I guess as it pans past the pool table and sort of this little shadowed area. Maxwell looks more or less like Paul Rudd, sort of nondescript, not entirely unattractive, but also not like Brad Pitt, or anything like that, like normal-ish. He is in a white button shirt with a blazer. First two buttons undone, pants that match, nice shoes. He is nursing a uh like a coffee culch, or some sort of, craft tap, on tap beer, whatever weird shit they have. Like it's Michelob, it's Budweiser, but then like they just happen to have like this weird craft thing that's like a Pensacola brewery. It's like, yeah, I have that. Um, and he's sitting, across from Grant, back to the wall, looking at the door, waiting for this guy to come in. And he turns to Grant and he says, I mean, I mean, you said Coy recommended this guy, right? I mean, do you think he's going to be solid? I mean, you know Coy better than I do. Um,
So I think Grant will look at whatever fancy beer that Maxwell's drinking and he'll tip back his Budweiser. He just he'll go with the bog standard stuff. And I think Grant would be what would he be wearing? He'd be wearing like a dress shirt, but of course it would be short sleeves. You're gonna do the short sleeve Homer Simpson shirt. He's a plumber, but he's probably not doing as much of the crawling under the sink kind of stuff. He's more the foreman of the job, but so he looks a little bit presentable. And he would just look over to Maxwell after taking a drink and say, "Well, I mean, we've gotten some good jobs from him in the past. He seemed a bit excited. Coy seemed a bit excited about this next one, kind of jokingly, ribbing me, saying, we've been doing a bit of some of this easy stuff, and this next one coming up is looks like it'll be a bit of a bigger payoff, a bit trickier, but definitely a lot of excitement. So yeah, he hasn't led us astray so far, and he seemed pretty excited about it. So I don't think he'd send us a bum steer if he's looking to make a score on this one.
all right. Well, I mean, I guess we'll vet him as best we can. Muscle, huh? I mean, I, I guess if that's what we need. I mean, I'm not much of a fighter, so I mean, everything we've done so far has been pretty smooth. So hopefully it doesn't come down to that.
Grant just giggles a little bit and says, "I think we've got enough muscle uh, here," and he kind of flexes his hands a bit, with a smirk on his face. And I think the muscle maybe that Coy was pointing out is a bit more of a mechanical or metallic muscle. But so obviously it's going to be a bit of a step up to what we're used to be doing. But hey, you take the risk, you get a big reward. So I'm a bit excited about what he's lining up for us. I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah, I take a long swig and I'm like, well, certainly I hope it doesn't come to that.
But it's prevention is always you got to be prepared. Flashing a piece is better than having to use a piece. So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully Ryan's a bit flashy.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. When are we supposed? He's supposed to be here. What 1 o'clock? Like he looks at his watch. He's got like a Rolex, nice black with like gold and all the stuff.
Yeah. So Grant would look at his watch too. Would he have an Apple Watch or would he just have like he has a Casio digital? Yeah. So then he just looks at his watch and
He's got the Indiglow.
exactly. So I'm looking at my calculator watch and John's got his, timepiece because they call it a timepiece, not a watch, right? There's a difference. You got your
Probably.
timepiece
Yeah.
on. So there's a bit of a contrast between the two of them looking at their wrists and looking around the bar.
I take out like a little notepad and I've got like, fancy, pen. He clicks the pen open. He's like, all right, so what do we want to ask this guy? And he'll like just start jotting some things down.
Hmm. I'm sure we don't have to go too in depth to his resume because I'm sure he wouldn't tell us anyways. Um, I think it's more going to be a vibe thing, right? I don't think there's anything for me that I'm going to be asking other than just seeing if we get a good feel from him and maybe some if he's worked with Koi before or how he knows Koi, that might be a good thing to try to suss out because I don't think Koi's told us too much other than I have a guy.
All right. He clicks the pen, he puts it down next to the little notebook. Looks at
All
his
right.
watch again.
All right. All right. I'm gonna say it's about that time. So Ryan shows up. So Ryan, how do you enter?
So I'm assuming if you say it's 1 o'clock, we mean 1 p.m. and not a.m. All right. So the bar, it's probably quieter. Is it pretty quiet in here, or is it still kind
It's
of banging?
it's actually it's actually one of those bars where there are people that are regulars there, so they're
Yep.
always there. So it's not
Yeah.
packed, but it's not super busy either. It's like steady.
Right on. But it's not like a big loud bar with like
No, no, no,
no.
no, no, no.
All right, cool.
Not unless somebody turns up Skinner really loud.
So in that case, you can probably hear Ryan arrive. Um, so from the outside, you kind of see him turn into the parking lot. He's on a kind of a dirty but well kept Honda Dual Sport black trim. Um, very well used, and you just hear you hear him kind of go the there's that not necessarily high pitched winding sound from the engine, but he comes kind of skidding in a little bit to the parking lot, and you hear the engine kind of sputter off when he turns off the throttle. Um, he's wearing camo cargo shorts uh like tracker trail boots, and a white t-shirt, no helmet, no nothing. Uh, and he kind of just walks he's got that high and tight military haircut, that is kind of growing out a little bit, but let's not get too crazy. And he kind of walks in and nods to the bartender behind the bar as if, this is kind of a regular thing for him.
So Grant will look over to Maxwell when he hears the bike coming in and he's tipping back his Budweiser and just says, well, I guess this is the guy we're going to be looking for.
I look and, kind of shift in my seat a little bit. I'm like, that guy?
I'm thinking maybe a little bit of the entrance was just to give us a heads up.
Okay.
What kind of car does Maxwell drive? Because I'm assuming so. There's this dirt bike out in the in the parking lot. There's Grant's van, his work van, and next
I
to
mean,
it's what like a Maserati or
A
something.
Miata.
well, I was gonna say it's probably like a BMW or something, right?
Yeah,
Oh, rolling around in an M3.
Uh,
like the sporty one or
yeah, it's just me and her, so probably, yeah.
two
Right? They
seater.
probably order food online, have shit delivered, right? Like,
Yeah, so
Um,
the bartender gives Ryan his usual. What is your usual, Ryan?
You know what? He actually there's a lager that the Pensacola Bay Brewery actually has. That's kind of like their steady number one brew, and that's his preferred.
Nice,
oh, it would have been
nice.
better if you walked over with a drink with an umbrella in it, though.
I just assumed it was
And then
Pabst.
The PBR.
then he takes the
He likes to
umbrella and he
support
throw
local.
he yeah, he like flicks the umbrella and it goes into somebody's eye and it kills them instantly.
Uh,
And yeah, he'll do that, and he'll sit down at the bar because he doesn't necessarily know. He was told, so he has like a friend of a friend situation, right? Like his friend knows Coy, and so like Coy reached out to his friend who was like, "Hey, I know a guy who would work for you. Like we're good for that job." So he reached out to Ryan, and so Ryan knows that he's coming here, but he doesn't really know who he's meeting or anything like that. So he kind of just sits at the bar, hoping, expecting that, you know, they'll know that he's supposed to be here.
So I'm assuming we'll sit there for a couple minutes, and if you're not going to make a move,
I was
Maxwell
gonna
and go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I was gonna wave the the waitress over
Mhm.
and then ask her and be like, hey, that guy, uh, get him another and send him this way.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, either that, you have someone go do that, or I was going to take our order and go up to the bar. But yeah, let, let's make it a bit more formal where we have someone else fetch him and bring him over than us going over to him.
Yeah, I prefer not to discuss business in front of as few people as possible.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, the bartender gets wind and just talks to Ryan and points over there and says, the the two gentlemen you're waiting for in that corner over there.
And he'll kind of look over his shoulder, stare at you guys for a minute, and goes, fucking serious?
Maxwell like holds up the beer and kind of like tips it in your direction.
So he finishes the first glass, takes the second one, and gets up and walks over.
I think Grant will get up. He won't pull his chair out for him, but he'll kind of do because he's used to, going into people's houses and talking to them and trying to like do meetings. So he'll do the whole standing up, waiting for you to come over and sit down, and then he'll sit down too. Like he won't
Mhm.
pull your chair out or anything, but he'll do the like if you're in a meeting and you're waiting for someone, they're showing up, you stand up and wait to sit back down.
I don't think Maxwell does. Like he might do the half stand to like shake your
Mhm.
hand as you come in, but yeah, he doesn't like stand up and wait.
No. So yeah, as you know, he'll look so if he'll address Grant and like give you a head nod, and he kind of looks at Maxwell like out of the corner of his eye, squinting a little bit, and then grabs a chair, flips it around, sits Riker style.
I am maintaining strong eye contact through the whole thing.
Yeah, Grant's nonchalant about it, right? He's been around rough and tumble guys his whole life, so he's just taking it. Oh, guy grabs a beer, come sit down. It's all good.
You probably notice what if you shake his hand, like his hands are like manicured, like nails done, like it's he's put together.
Yeah. I mean, if you offer to shake. Like if you offer your hand, he'll shake your hand and he will shake your hand.
Mhm.
Right? Like
He will match shake.
I know. I got body 3 and might 2. What do you got?
I think I'm 2-2.
All right. Fair enough.
I
I
love
do.
I love that Ryan is trying to power play everything right now. It's great.
He's just being him.
Yeah, that's right.
And so yeah, so when he sits down, there's kind of that brief moment of quiet,
Mhm.
and he'll say, so you guys are the ones that I was supposed to meet up with?
That's us. I'm Grant. That's Maxwell. You must be Ryan.
Correct.
So do you know Coy? Oh no, he probably doesn't. Do you know our mutual friend?
Never met him.
I mean, we've never met him either.
Not in the flesh, right? We've communicated quite a bit. And he pointed us your way, and I'm assuming he pointed you our way. Uh, didn't
He knows my friend. And my friend pointed me your way.
Oh, that's right. It's your rangefinder buddy, right? That was what you said when we were chatting last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, gotcha. Um, so so Grant's everybody seems to be comfortable, right? Everybody's having a drink. So Grant will kind of lean back in his chair, like throw his arm over one bit of the chair and just say, well, our mutual friend seemed a bit excited about this. What he wanted us to get together. Does he discuss any further points with either of you other than he's got something good for us?
That's yeah, that's you. The podcast doesn't catch the head shake.
So basically what it is he basically told you guys to get your team together and then he would basically let you know exactly what it is.
Okay, so he didn't let anything slip to just any of us. He just said he was very formal is the wrong word, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
just get together and we'll
basically
chat.
yeah, basically it was one of those things where it was just even though he's kind of erratic and you'll find that out once you talk to him or whatever, like when he finds a job, he basically gives you just the bare minimum.
Yeah,
So it's
gotcha.
basically he was just like, okay, I need you two and I need some muscle. I need somebody with a good background that how to get in and out of places
And we probably don't want to.
with
Yeah, the least amount of details before is probably a good thing. So
yeah, exactly. Because even though he's worked with you guys a few times, he doesn't really know how you guys truly work yet. So he's not going to give all this information to you if you can't handle it. And then all
yeah,
of a sudden he's like, okay, so then this job is basically screwed and I can't give it to somebody else if he has somebody else that he can give it to.
or yeah, if he gives us too much information, we got to strike out on our own behind his back. If he changes his mind about looping us in, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
We are, people of the underworld, so I'm sure stuff like that happens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There is a little bit of honor among thieves, but not
Yeah,
not too much.
yeah. It depends on what level the honor is looking to fetch, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So Max picks up his pen and he starts to click it, and then just kind of like he's just sort of like playing with it. Like hands on the table, just kind of like twiddling it. And
Fidgeting.
yeah, his eyes drop down to the notebook and then back up to Ryan, and he says, "So, what did you do before?"
And he'll at that point kind of like lean on the table. So like arms kind of folded in front of him. Um, but like, side by side, right?
Mhm.
And you see he has like several tattoos up and down both arms, and you see like a Welsh style dragon that has like an XVIII under it, and you see a skull wearing like a red beret, and you see like a long high caliber bullet and a crosshair and a parachuting devil with a pitchfork and like a bunch of like your like kind of American traditional eagle.
Mhm.
um you see a bunch of like those tattoos all up and down his arms, which kind of tell the story of what he did before he got here.
Mhm.
Um, Intermixed with that are, uh, like some like a couple of pinups and a snake, another like traditional snake, and then you get the hint like under the sleeve, but like below the below the cuff, uh like an American flag, but it looks like it has like maybe like black stripes or something all along it, like breaking up the colors of it. And he says, "I served."
I nod, make eye contact the whole time.
Yeah, I think Grant would just take that in stride, right? I'm sure he's seen lots of guys that did service, and like even dumb me, as in Kevin, knows that, certain types of tattoos are really, military, either your branch or your battalion or stuff like that. So I
Hmm.
think Grant would understand. Um, yeah, military guy, ex-military guy. If you're saying served, yeah, you're ex-military
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, and he's also pretty young. He looks like he's like like late 20s at the most.
Hmm.
Did you walk over with the limp? I can't remember I know you said you were injured in your backstory, but I didn't know if it was like
No limp
noticeable.
really. He
Okay.
has so like backstory wise, he has back problems from an accident that he was in. Um like like back and shoulder issues, but yeah, no
Yeah.
limp or anything. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully we don't, he kind of like nods his head back and forth, require uh your services to any large extent. I feel like that would indicate that things have gone horribly wrong. So glad to have you. Hope to not need you.
I hope you don't need me either.
You're like an insurance policy, right? We know it's going to be there, and you really don't want to have to call up the actuarial tables and sort it out. But yeah, it's always good to have that insurance there.
If we're gonna do code names, we could call you State Farm.
And he just like like glares you at that point.
Like he's not saying it to be mean necessarily. He's not saying it like really shitty, but like
Oh no, yeah.
you know,
You're trying to lighten the mood.
yeah, yeah.
Ryan doesn't like the mood lighting too much. I like that.
Uh, uh,
If you, hmm, how do I say this without sounding like I'm a cop wearing a wire? Uh,
That's what a
I
cop
can
would
imagine
say.
Grant actually says that out loud.
yeah, let's do that. Yeah, because right now he's a straightforward guy, right? He's just be like, yeah, I don't want you to sound too weird. Obviously, it probably does come off as weird, but um, you know, we're not looking to go over your resume, but do you have experience in what our mutual friend is looking to get us involved in?
Yeah, I have experience. Not been able to put some of what I learned overseas into a decent enough way to make some cash back here.
It's all we're all looking to do, make some cash.
So yeah, if basically I'm the one that'll make sure that you stay safe and out of sight.
Exactly what we were looking for.
Well, you certainly look like you can handle yourself.
And just kind of gives you a little bit of a nod for that.
Did our mutual friend say when he was going to call? Do we have a time to check in with him, Grant?
Uh, did he give us a time, Kurt,
I don't know,
or
we're
did
just
he
No.
just
making
say
shit
meet up
up.
here?
No, so I referenced this last time, and it was a quick shot. But when you guys need him to get a hold of you, what you do is he'll give you a
That's right.
certain spot, like a house or like an apartment building or something like that, and you have to
Mhm.
put a fake Molotov cocktail there, and then he will get a hold of you.
Uh, Grant would definitely have that kind of stuff in his van, right? Just some some
A
empty
liquor
bottles,
bottle
right?
and a rag,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, exactly. Um, over and above what he would normally have, right? He has his extra one lying around just in case you get a hold of Coy. So he does
Mm.
have his messaging service in his van. Um,
Yeah.
so then Grant would say no, but uh, I think he wanted us all to get this meet cute set up and that it goes well, and then if we were good, I'll go and send up the bat signal to him.
All right, fair enough. I don't. I think he pulls out his wallet, pulls out a card, and it's nice, heavy card stock, embossed. You know, same like black and gold, nice. You know, all fucking. Uh, I never thought of the name of the gallery. I guess we'll have
Gallery.
to circle back around, but it's got the name of the gallery. It's got his name, phone number, you know, cell phone number. So he says, no, and he just like puts it on the table, slides it across the table, says, you know, that way we can keep in touch.
And Grant's gonna take the card and just flip it over and scribble his name on the back with the phone number.
Uh,
It was either that or he was gonna grab a coaster, but I think grabbing your card to do it just
that's funnier, yeah.
So would we so Kurt, you wanted us to meet up and chat and do that then, right? So I'm assuming the next meeting with Coy would be something we set up and then we follow back up, right? That's
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would
So
be the
you could
later
do,
time.
you could, since it's only 1 o'clock,
Mhm.
like, that anytime you really need to get a hold of them, you can. So if you want to do it the next day, if you want to do it later that day, you can. Just because you've always, anytime you've ever needed him for information or whatever, and
Mhm.
you've left those Molotov cocktails, he's
Mhm.
always gotten a hold of you. There's never been a time where he's never like
Okay.
not been around.
So Ryan, are you local or you commute in to the area? I'm just thinking if I
uh,
go if
no,
we leave here and I send up the message,
I started up north, but down here I kind of know the area good enough.
but if I go and leave a message, we looking to meet up later tonight, tomorrow, I don't want you to have to, hike all the way back here if going home's a bit of a drive.
Nah, I'm only a few minutes out. I'm good.
Okay, cool. So,
I so I don't know how we handle it, but I rolled an insight on Ryan. Like I'm just trying to read him. So is that like an opposed like Psyche? Is that like what do you I'm throwing this out to the table. Is that like a set DL sort of situation? Like it's not like you're not, I mean, presumably not lying, right? Like I'm just
Yeah.
in character trying to get a sense of what's, your demeanor, do you seem truthful to me, right? Like we're not talking about like, hey, let's get together and like fucking, put a fence in, are you gonna show up or not? Like we're gonna break in somewhere and like
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
so mechanically, if you're playing around with the like static DC for attacks and stuff like that, this isn't an opposed roll necessarily because he's not trying to hide
yeah,
anything. So I say a static should be fine for that. So whatever you want, like whatever your static DL is,
so for combat it's 5. For
I'd say
magic
5
it's
then.
6.
Yeah.
But like, are you being truthful? Like, I don't know. It feels to me
I
like
think if
more
I
of a
wasn't being truthful, then it would turn into an opposed.
right fast talk versus whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't. So I'm making the roll, so it's not like I don't know that uh, the set combat DC is the same as like a DC for to read a person, right? Like I'm trying to. What do we used to do in core? I think you used to just set a DL, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's for a
So
player, so I don't know.
yeah, so like you're so with core stats, brains is usually kind of the perception, insight kind of thing, right?
Yeah, either brains or psyche, depending on, how you're approaching it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it depends. Like, I'm trying to think because psyche makes more sense because you're looking into the psyche of this person and how they you
Hmm.
know how they
And how
act
they're coming
around
across
you.
to
So
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So try to like
yeah,
get a
for
gut
sure.
feel on it, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, is this guy gonna
Hmm.
fuck us? Right? Like essentially.
Yeah. So I think you're like static base number. I think if you're just doing something like this, almost like a passive perception, even though it's not,
Mm.
I think a 4 would probably make more
Yeah, that makes
sense because
sense.
that's still hard.
Yeah, I was gonna pull up the I know we're derailing the podcast. This is also a playtest.
No,
Um
you're not. Yeah, we're
the
playtesting, so we're always going to be looking at things.
so the I'm trying to find the fucking DL thing. God damn it. Oh,
I already
so
have it.
4 is difficult, 5 is hard, 6 is taxing,
I'd say 4 then.
Yeah,
4
Yeah.
difficult.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Because
I
it's
have a
yeah, it's
4 total. So what is that? A yes, but
Yeah.
that's a yes, but yes.
okay.
Well,
So
so I don't know what you want to make the butt, Kurt, but I will say like Ryan is being truthful, right? He hasn't lied to you. He's very standoffish and very he seems very cautious and very untrusting,
Mm,
right?
which
He
makes
doesn't know you
sense,
guys.
right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
just as much as you think this guy might fucking murder us when the next time we meet up. He's thinking these guys could try to murder me in the back of an alley. So like I'm gonna keep on my guard.
Right. Or leave you holding the bag. We
Right,
take the shit and
exactly.
then you're stuck at
Yeah,
the house. Yeah.
right. So yeah, you've given him zero reason to trust you. He doesn't know you. So he doesn't even know the person that you know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like his friend Mac knows Coy who knows you.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
the longer the chain gets, the weaker the connection. So
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I'm almost wondering if like Maxwell and Grant look at each other like, is this a good idea? Like they don't say it, but you can tell on their faces, like, do we make the right choice? Are we gonna regret this in the future or what?
So, so as I'm reading that, then, and again, I don't know what the but yet is, but I think he says, you know, Ryan, Grant and I've been working together on and off now for, a span of a little while. Business is good. It, makes things easier. We haven't, I mean, this was Coy's idea to bring somebody in. I trust Grant. Um, I'm just, it's weird for all of us. I guess we have to have some kind of level of trust going into this. I mean, we're not gonna intentionally screw you. I mean, we've had a good working relationship thus far, so I don't see any reason to burn that all down.
And I think if Maxwell's going to take that vibe of it, being a bit cautious, which is a good thing, right? I'm sure we're all cautious a bit anyways for what we do. I think Grant will just be like, um, you know, our friend said this is a step up. He hasn't led us astray so far. And, he gains as much as we do and he loses as much as we do if it doesn't go well. So I'm happy with the way everything's gone so far, and I'm sure everything will. I'm sure we'll all get along swimmingly.
And Ryan will sit up straight at that point and cross his arms and just say, "Listen, I don't know the two of you from shit stains on the bottom of my boots,
Grant starts laughing.
but I'm getting paid to keep you two safe, and I sure as hell ain't planning on dying on this mission. That's this job. So, as long as you don't fuck me, I won't fuck you."
Works for me.
Seems fair.
So I'm gonna
I
say,
I lean across and I extended a hand to shake. Then right, seal the deal.
Yep. Yeah, he'll shake.
I'll tip my Budweiser back and take a swig out of it.
nice. So I'm gonna say that your butt, John, for Maxwell is you that you feel like he's telling the truth, but you're gonna go out of your way not to piss him off,
Okay,
which
Or
you're doing already.
I was just, my thought was that maybe like I still don't fully trust him, but like
Yeah, yeah,
sure,
that
like
also can be it as well.
yeah, we're gonna play nice, but like I don't like I still don't know this guy,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like all of what we talked about kind of encapsulates everything because it's just kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one thing leads to another. So it's like obviously you want to be
yeah,
cautious and
right,
not
right.
do anything that you're going to regret. So
You're not gonna be a complete dick like because then he is gonna fuck us, right?
okay, so you guys talked about that you're going to meet tomorrow then, it sounds like.
You said it
Yeah,
was early enough today if we could, or
it's
yeah,
up to you
tomorrow.
guys. Yeah, do we want to go grab a drink later tonight with him, or do we want to
Yeah,
set it up for
I
tomorrow?
seems like he's
And
normally
just
kind of a late owl.
and just so you know, you guys haven't met Coy in real life, and you won't.
Mhm.
He actually, so like, we'll just say that Grant has an iPad, and he'll actually get a hold of you through that.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume it was like an internet thing where we all have to like be
Yeah.
together and he,
Yep, yep,
fucking, it's like
exactly.
a virtual Zoom thing or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's his version of Zoom, except for no one will be able to listen in on this conversation kind of
Yeah,
type
it's
thing.
a Tor browser with some
Yeah.
fucking
Right.
Through
yeah.
Telegram and yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
hmm
so I'll send up the flare. Do we want to set up our call over at your place, or because yeah, it's either we go to the gallery or we go to my. I'm sure I have like a workshop business, right, with racks of PVC pipes and all that kind of jazz, right? Where so do we want to go back to my place or yours, Maxwell, for the for our chat?
6 and one, half dozen of the other.
We'll leave it up to Ryan. Do you want to go hang out in a gallery or a plumber's workshop?
And he looks at Grant and then like kind of does a slow turn to Maxwell. And he's like, fuck it. Let's see where the high and mighty live.
I'll make sure I put on a tie.
I tip my beer to you. Take a sip. Yeah.
Yeah, so unless there's anything, Kurt, you want the three of us to do, then I was going to have Grant, chug down the rest of his beer, tap the table and just say, all right, I'll go reach out to our buddy and we'll meet up.
Tell him after 9. I got a dinner date tonight.
Got a thing? You got a thing?
Yeah, I got a thing.
Okay. We'll meet up. I'll tell him after 9, and then I'm assuming we have even just to ping each other, right? Just to confirm. I'm sure we've got something.
You text me at like 7 o'clock. He says now.
Ryan will
glad.
actually
So like
when we're sitting at the table, he'll reach into his pocket, pull out like a flip phone.
Mhm.
A razor.
Yeah.
Right? And like he has to look up what the number on it is, and he'll like look at it and then like write the phone number down on a napkin and give it to you.
Okay, cool.
Nice. So when you're leaving that fake Molotov cocktail, you'll put the detail of the time in the like you'll write it on the
Mhm.
cloth or whatever that goes
Yeah.
inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you don't have to do anything, you just put a time.
Yeah.
And then he actually tells you that there's a just down the street there is a place called the Flamingo Hotel, and that you'll drop it off just in front of the front desk. So like just in front of the entrance of the front desk there. And you go there and it's this very hopping like spring break, like everybody is there. It's fully booked. There's co-eds that are just everywhere and they're drinking and playing volleyball and having fun and stuff like that. And you stick out like a sore thumb.
Trying to play it
So
cool, right?
what do you so what do you do when you have this fake Molotov cocktail and you're walking towards all of these young co-eds?
I would think that Grant has some kind of bag, right? He's like, okay, well, like it's a bag with like a pipe wrench, some screwdrivers, a piece of pipe, just plumber kind of some plumber's tape, just walking by. And he'll have, the bottle for the Molotov in that bag. And he'll go out to outside the Flamingo and he'll look at the manhole covers, he'll look at if there's any grates, he'll just like do plumber type things in case someone does stop him and ask, right, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And he'll if there is any kind of like exposed pipe outside the building or a hydrant or like anything like that, he'll pretend like he's checking it out, like he's actually doing work, like he's on business, he's supposed to be doing it, and just trying to set the bottle down where Coy wants him to, while also play acting that he's actually working.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then like no one really, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna have you roll to see if anybody notices that you lay this thing down because there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. And again,
Mhm.
like I said, even though you're doing your best to be incognito, you're
Mhm.
still kind of a sore thumb there. So I'll have you roll a grace,
Okay.
and I'll have that be a deal of 5.
Christ.
You have stealth or anything?
No.
He's a big old plumber. He ain't got no south. Come on, no.
So on one dice, I got a 5. So it was a yes, but
Nice. Nice.
So
So yeah,
yes,
so you
but
put it
yeah.
yeah, so you put it there nicely or whatever, and you start to walk away and no one really seems to notice, but then just to your left in like someone hanging out over the ledge like there's a one of the rooms and someone's hanging over the ledge of the railing or whatever, and some young man looks at you and goes, "Hey daddy, did you leave that for me?"
Hmm.
And they're thinking that you left them some alcohol to like let them have a nice party or something like that. They're just uh,
Yeah.
they're playing for lack of a better term, coy. They're playing
Yeah.
coy with you.
Bah.
So I'm assuming Grant's going to think this is just somebody who's had a few and is winding him up, right? Does he make the connection of who that is, or would he even be thinking that?
Yeah, no, because you've met Coy through a thing before, and stuff like that, and he hasn't, obviously that's not him unless he changed himself up,
Mhm.
um, that kind of thing. Like it doesn't look like it would be him at all or whatever. You could possibly think, hey, maybe he knows the guy, and maybe that guy's just giving you a little bit of guff just because even though you did a pretty good job of leaving it there, and like it doesn't seem like this young gentleman's moving at all. It's weird that he kind of gives you a little bit of a poke or whatever, and just doesn't do anything else besides
So,
that.
so I think Grant will handle it as he thinks that, obviously it's that time of year around here. So someone's just had a few and is just, being silly on the, yelling down to him. He'll just say, how do I do this? If I was you, when you go back in, before you do take a shower or use the sink, let it run for about 5 minutes. I got a call that there's been some issues with the drainage in this hotel recently, and I'm here to take some samples and do some tests to make sure that there's not any issues that could cause you any problems to cut down on your partying. But if I was you, I wouldn't be taking anything out of that bottle and drinking it because I need to take it back and test whatever microbes I find when I come back around. So
And
trying to scare him off the bottle.
yeah, and literally from like go one, like he gives like a really like gross kind of face or whatever, and every other word that you keep, the more you talk, the more he's uninterested, and then all of a sudden he just kind of holds up a hand and he goes, "Okay, Daddy, too much information, be gone."
Grant will just, smirk to himself and, head off back to his van.
jump in the bang bus.
It is Florida, so right.
Yeah, exactly. He might have thought you're shooting a movie. He wanted to be the star of the show.
Quote unquote movie.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, Grant
Exactly.
will just head back to the van and just giggling to himself. Like I said, if you live in somewhere that's a tourist area, I'm sure you deal with this shit all the time. So another day at the office.
Yeah, exactly. It's Florida. Anything can happen. So as soon as you get into your van, you get a ping on your iPad and it says 9 p.m. sharp. I'll be there.
All right, and then while I'm sitting there, I'll take out. I'm sure we all have. If we're talking burner phones, I'm sure they're all kind of flippy phone kind of things. There's not any kind of iPhone with no your iCloud connection, and he'll text Maxwell and just say 9 p.m. and then he'll dig out the napkin that had Ryan's number on it and just same thing, just 9 p.m. And
Yeah,
He
then
forgot it
roll
was
me
the one.
another.
They say he forgot it was the one that had his number on it, so like it's all full of like food and shit. And Grant was eating on the way over to the hotel. Fuck, is that a 4 or a 7? Shit.
Um, Grant, I'm gonna actually have you roll a brains check for me again. Uh,
okay.
uh, we'll have the DL just be a 4 again.
All right. Brains. How many do I got in that? Ooh, I got more than one dice to roll for that.
Nice.
That's a 5 again. So I don't
So
have
let's
anything I
see.
can add to
So
that unless
Beat
this
by
is
1 is a success. Just a
a
straight success.
success. Okay.
great success.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you think to yourself, like, okay, literally, I just put that thing down. I just got in the van. Like, how did he see that right away? And just as you're thinking that, a small drone flies right by your window, kind of does a couple of like fun little like back and forth in front of your view, and then flies off.
I would think that wouldn't really phase Grant, right? It is. It would phase me to see that, right? But I think in I think so Grant does just normal kind of jobs, residential things, apartment building stuff like that. But he does, the whole thing about being an art forger is you want to go where the stuff to forge is. So I'm sure he's been around properties that maybe have, they have security around there and it'd be a drone or whatever. So I don't think it would really wig him out too much to see that other than he kind of understands what Koi does and it wouldn't shock him that he has a drone, right? So I think he would just kind of shrug and think to himself, okay, well, it's either the drone or the goofy guy up on the ledge is Koi. So, and I guess if the simplest answer is usually the best one, then obviously Koi's got some drones flying around, but he's got to be in the area, obviously. So I think
Mhm.
he'll look at it that way and just say, obviously, it was just some drunk guy on a thing shouting down to me. But when we get on the iPad, he will look extra close if Koi's on camera to make sure that wasn't him.
Perfect. Okay, so do you guys do anything in the interim since you guys have time to spare?
I go out to dinner with Sam. We had made plans for tonight. So
Nice. Grant, Ryan?
Ryan just goes back up into the woods and hangs out in his camper for a few hours.
Nice.
Walks
I
around, checks his traps, that kind of stuff.
I do tell her at some point, like, oh, I got a thing at the gallery tonight. I got a guy coming through to walk through. I don't know if it's gonna be anything, but he requested he's coming in late, so I told him I'd head down. I might be a little bit late tonight. Not too late, but
Yeah, yeah. She said well, actually, you know what? I'll ask you this question just because I always love when my players like kind of tell different parts of their story and stuff like that. Does your so you said that this is your fiance, right?
yeah, significant other. I don't know if they're engaged or actually married or they're like in a long term
Okay.
thing. Yeah, they engaged. Let's just say engaged.
Engaged. Okay. So does she have any clue about anything you do other than gallery stuff?
No, she has no idea.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make
At
sure
least
just
Maxwell
because,
doesn't think she has an idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
bum bum bum.
Yeah, she's like successful in her own right. I was thinking like professional type person. So like well put together, but also like, kind of bubbly and, personable and, not like corporate fucking chill professional, but like, you know, maybe manager type. I don't know. I couldn't off the top of my head. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
Um,
okay.
yeah. So she has her own stuff, and then like we have a place together, and we schedule time to like go on dates and things like that because we're both busy with things, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very cool. All right, Grant, what about you? What are you doing in this interim?
He's going to go back to the workshop office, whatever kind of thing. Um, Along the way, he picks up like a Cuban sandwich and a bottle of Coke, and just goes into
Nice.
into the office area and eats that. And then like around his office, like if you look up on the walls, there's like Starry Night. There's like a Jackson Pollock kind of. These are prints, right? These are these are Jackson Pollock or Van Goghs. Like posters you buy at a museum. There's like girl with a pearl or earring, and just random prints that you would buy like posters from, just all these different famous pieces of art like around the wall above his
Yeah.
desk, and he's sitting there eating his Cuban sandwich and drinking his Coke.
Yeah. So is it a thing where do you have any of your work that you're working on? Like, do you have any of that stash? Do you do that as like do you do anything like just when you're not pulling anything, when you're not doing any jobs? Are you like working on your craft? Or is there any of that kind of stuff around?
Yeah, I would say there's an easel and some paints and stuff like that. Not anything that could be tied to replicas or anything, but just some landscapes and some still life stuff, in the corner,
Yeah.
right? Just a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
of them, some canvases and stuff. But I'm trying to think where he would actually do his business. I think he would do that at home. He wouldn't do that at the shop. So this is just,
Yeah.
not finger paint level, but just some, if you got a free minute in between jobs or whatever, or I'm eating, it's just painting some happy little trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Yep.
the
That's
actual
great.
the place where he does the replacement and the forging and stuff, that would probably be at his house. That wouldn't be here.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, so it gets to be about that time. You guys meet at the gallery. So, Maxwell, do you let them in the front door? Is there a little side door? Like, how do we get these guys in? Do we try to hide it or not?
I think I let them in the front door, right? Either I own it or I'm a partner or whatever. So like there's no reason why I shouldn't be
Wouldn't be
here,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Like most of the lights are off, like every other light is off or whatever, right? Like we're closed sort of thing.
Hmm.
But like it's in sort of downtown, right? So it's still like busy and sort of bustling or whatever. The close sign is up in the window. Um, Probably by like quarter of like he's up in the front. Like he might just be kind of like straightening up, kind of like going through things. He might be sitting at that desk, up on the computer, like looking at, see if anything sold today, if there's, how many, what the attendance was, people coming and going, like looking at stuff and just like tallying things and like doing a little bit of work, kind of keeping an eye on the door to see when someone comes up. And then, as they come up, he'll get up and unlock the door and, let them in.
Okay. So, a couple of questions then, just because I'm curious. So, do you have any like night guards that stay and watch the place over? Do you turn off the cameras when they come over? I'm thinking of just about things like if you have this high-end gallery, you want to protect things at all costs. So how
Do you have
how
metal
far do you go to protect
detectors?
that? Yes.
They probably don't have metal detectors because it's a gallery, right? Um, Pensacola? Fuck, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there would be cameras, right, for insurance purposes, for sure, if there was a break-in, right? There's an alarm system for sure. Um, I don't, I don't know if they would have like, because what's the guy just gonna like sit in the like? I assume it's not huge space, right? Like it's I don't know. I guess if we want to look at a gallery in a movie, right? I guess they're pretty big, right? People are walking around corners and shit with their
Yeah, they are
hors d'oeuvres like
actually
it's a
pretty big.
big
Yeah.
fucking space. So if it's big, big, I guess maybe
Okay.
they would have something like that. So like when he came in, he would just tell the guy to like go take a break, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be here for, half an hour, come back, I'll call you when I'm done, sort of thing. Although maybe that's weird. Like, why would you send the security guard away? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So is it something now that you maybe you pay this guy under the table to keep quiet? You're like, okay, well, I'm gonna have a couple of friends, but or do you make it seem like we're just a couple of buddies and we're gonna look at, some things that we're gonna end up doing, maybe like, maybe you even keep Grant's like story like, oh, it looks like he's got to come in and look at the plumbing or whatever, that kind of thing. I don't know how do you play that?
So we probably do something like, fucking Garda or whatever, right? So it's just some guy making like 15 bucks an hour, right? So I think like he comes in and like, turns off the alarm because he goes over a little bit before, right? Like maybe at least a half an hour before.
Yeah.
And, tells the guy like, yeah, I got a guy coming over tonight. Why don't you go get some dinner? I'm going to be here for a little bit. Don't don't sweat it. I'll shoot you a text when I'm done. Go ahead, take a
Mhm.
break. Like he'll give him 50 bucks or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like he works for me. I mean, he works for Garda, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
he's a guy. Like he doesn't get like like, fuck, I make 15 bucks an hour, do whatever you want. Like
Yeah,
it's your
exactly.
fucking
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, it's
place.
not the first time, right?
Yeah.
He likes these paid breaks. And I'll say as a fun little like storyline too, I'll just say that you keep track of the time that you're there and then you'll send that time to Koi and Koi will loop something else in so the cameras look like just things as usual, like nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. I guess we probably have something arranged. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Cool.
So again, less things that can go get back to you, the better.
Hmm.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So I'm assuming you guys probably meet in Maxwell's office, or you let him in and then you lead them to the office. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yep. And then yeah, you guys get all settled. Do you guys have any banter beforehand, or we just go straight into it?
Banter?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I think there's a lot of glass outside, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like hard, well, I guess pine's technically softwood, but like bright, you know, wood floors, like
It looks
it's,
like an Apple store, right? It's all very bright and
but
sharp
Like
nicer than
lines.
that.
walls.
Well, it's
Yeah,
actually kind of dark right now because, like I said, most
Yeah.
of the
yeah.
lights are probably off. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, it's very like it's very well done, put together.
mm.
Um, all the plaques, local artist, like, maybe this month we're having, some local artist. We're doing a show with their particular art, and it's like street scenes and like slice of life in Pensacola, right? So there's just like a lot of stuff with, with the water. There's, like street scenes of, like, maybe some of it's like protest stuff, maybe some of it's like buskers and like just that sort of stuff. Like we're doing a thing with a local artist. And then the other, other stuff that we've acquired, right? Like the higher end stuff is like deeper into the store,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Nice. I like that. Yeah, so you guys all take a seat or whatever. And then yeah, literally if you have like a wall clock or if you're looking at the computer, like 9 o'clock flips over and automatically the iPad starts ringing at you.
Well, they pop it up on the table and get it connected and answer.
Okay. All right. So what you see before you, everyone, Maxwell and Grant have seen this before, but Ryan has not. You see this very thin, almost gaunt looking like gentleman. He's got very long black hair that's very like plastered and like very like fine down the sides of down the part of his head that go down. Very almost looks very like almost goth looking how gaunt he is. He's got horn rim glasses, and then he's got tattoos all over his body. Like you can see him kind of from the waist up, and he's got kind of like a tank top on, and he's just covered in tattoos. And most of the tattoos are very, uh, um, give me a second here, very anti the system. So you've got like your uh, skew on the like if he turns around, you would see a skew on the back of his neck. One that says respect existence or expect resistance. ACAB, anarchy, eat the rich, suspect your elders, an upside down cross, etc. So like he's just covered in all these anti um, the system tattoos all over him, and he's very animated, and he's also very excitable. He looks like he's about mid 20s, um, and he kind of has a little bit of a lisp, and he's like, "Okay, everybody's here. Okay, so." Has everybody said hello? Has everybody had their introductions? Are you ready for my speech?
We're we're waiting with bated breath.
When the
And
screen comes up, Ryan will actively roll his eyes.
okay, so
Like, what the fuck?
which one of you has the 1312 tattoo, right? Either Coy or Ryan has to have an ACAB tattoo, right?
Oh, Ryan
Oh yeah.
definitely has a 1312. Yeah.
And when
But he
Grant
earned that's I think the what's going through Ryan's mind right now is like the two of them are probably kind of like similar age, similar like style tattoos and things like that. But like what's going through Ryan's mind is like he fucking earned this shit, right? Like he's been through the system fucked him. Like he's now fucking the system. And then you got this fucking little kid who
Poser.
probably like grew up on like with a silver spoon in his mouth, sucking at his mom's tit, and like hasn't had like a single problem in his entire life. And now he's got this fucking keyboard warrior mentality.
when Grant pulled out the tablet to set it up, he did actually pull out another Budweiser and pop that open and start drinking it also. So
There's probably a bottle of wine on the
I
table.
was gonna say Maxwell has some Chardonnay. Yeah, exactly. Right.
He likes a good red.
Yeah,
Perfect.
got a
He al-
1972 Merlot.
Yeah, he offers like he gets two. You pull out your Budweiser and he has a glass. He looks at you and he grabs another glass and kind of gives you a questioning look.
I'll
And
pour it
just
in.
hand
We're in
up,
a
just
fancy
wanting-
spot. Yeah. I'll pour the Budweiser in the glass, definitely.
I shrug. I give you the glass.
Yeah.
And then, so Grant's staring at the screen and he's like, yeah, that guy on the balcony definitely wasn't Coy. So
What guy on the balcony?
that was it was internal
Oh,
monologue.
internal. Yeah. Right.
Yep,
All right,
we
so
had
then
our get together and it all went well.
that's great to hear. All right. Well, let you know about our Mark. Our Mark is named Neo Dixon. He lives in Mobile, Alabama. You might know him. He runs the website The Absolute Truth. He is a very, you know, when people say right wing, they don't really say the people that are really right wing, they really aren't that far right. This guy is the embodiment of all of it. So basically, he is one of those guys that he has if you see me having all my tattoos, this guy is the opposite. He's got every Nazi paraphernalia on his body. He's got all kinds of things from Dixieland. Uh, just everything that you could imagine, he's got tattooed on his body, and he lives it. He hates everyone. He hates everyone's skin. He hates everyone's religion, and he'll spout that. Whether or not that's the truth, he believes it himself, and he really goes out and he has quite a following. He's made a lot of money off of that hateful rhetoric through his merchandise and his rallies and donations to be able to help out other racists that he knows and stuff like that to be able to get to certain political offices and to get past certain crimes that they have committed and stuff like that. So, but enough of that. Let's talk about this piece. So this piece, even though it's a reminder of a very terrible past, this is Thomas Snyder's painting of daisies. Now, you may not know who Thomas Snyder is, but Thomas Snyder was Adolf Hitler's painting teacher when he was young. And this is a one of a kind piece. Thomas Snyder's pieces have all been lost in tragic ways. Some have been burnt, some have been sold to certain people, and then they have also they have gone missing. This is the last remnant. What the one thing that's extra spooky about this one is that inside of these daisies are these black swirls. And people have said that when they look through those black swirls, they have seen darkness incarnate. So it is a very thought off piece. This last that I've checked, I think the piece is been clocked at I think $10.5 billion.
Wait a minute. How much? What? $10 billion?
I try not to spit out my Budweiser.
And he kind of squints and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. $10.5 million. I'm sorry. Not billion, $1 million."
Even still, Jesus.
Now, it's gonna seem like, okay, this is gonna be a tough ask, and it's gonna be hard for you guys to get. Well, to tell you the truth, not really. Um, Neo's security is not, let's say, not super like fantastic. So he's got the electric fence. He has got some ex-military that is also guarding it. It is two gentlemen by the named the Gonzalez brothers, and if you don't know the Gonzalez brothers, they are also ex-military, but they are the worst kind. They are one of those kinds that they will do anything, not only for $1, but they will also do it to be able to maim anybody that they can run across. So that's one of the things that might be a little tricky. Even though I've heard that they've been a little lax in their duties lately. A lot of even though they are there to help guard the Dixon fortune, they will often have parties with random women and men and not really be guarding what they're supposed to be guarding. So if you are good in your intel and what you do to try to get to where you need to go there, that it should be a little easier than you think because not only are they drunk most of the time, but they also are very high off cocaine and other drugs.
Oh, that's
And
fantastic.
Grant would have been, so obviously he's taking this all in, but then he would have been focusing on some of the info that Coy mentioned about the painting, the the instructor or the missing works and stuff, and he's gonna try to rack his brain and kind of see if what Coy's saying lines up with truth, right? Is he the details about the instructor, the lost stuff, is that is what he's saying true from the knowledge I have.
Yeah, so let's have you roll a brains check on that to see.
Okay.
And let's do a 5 on that for the deal.
Okay. That would be a 6 + 1, so 7.
Nice.
Nice. Nice. So that would be a yes and.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so from everything that you've heard, he is telling the truth about all of it. As
Mm-hmm.
far as the worth of the painting, obviously it's going to be more expensive because it is the last of a piece of a
Mm-hmm.
sought out, you know, even though it's one of those things where you're like, okay, who's going to want this,
Yeah, so that I'm
old
gonna
painting
we'll
teacher
put a
of
pin in that for
Hitler?
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you're like, so who's gonna want that type of thing? But like, obviously, something like that, it's still a piece of art. It's still one of a kind, and it's still well sought out.
Mhm.
As far as the painting itself, you you probably don't know it actually exists unless you go online and take a look and do some searching to see if that is
Research.
something that
Yeah.
is, yeah, some research
Yeah.
on it, and you
For
wouldn't
this
know
the
anything about
specific
the,
piece. Yeah, the specific piece then.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that
wouldn't
makes
know,
sense.
yeah, any specifics about it unless you did your research on it.
Yeah. So I think Grant would say this all sounds from the art side of it. Look, I love art. I've always loved art. I don't think, you know, he'll be like a bit, flabbergasted or whatever, and to say, who the fuck would want this other than the scumbag that has it now? Who would, he's kind of just saying, like, generally, he's not like looking for an answer. He just says, but who the
Yeah,
hell would want something like this?
and he pauses a little bit and he says, let's just say it is a particular party that, even though they don't believe in the teachings of the Nazis, they still will pay a pretty penny to get that piece in their collection.
Separate the art from the artist. Um,
Hey, you know what they say though? If you're at a party and there's a Nazi there and nobody's kicking him out, you're at a fucking Nazi party.
yeah, we're not going to be hanging around with these guys. I'm assuming, as you said, we know who this guy is, right? He's, from the analogies you were giving, who he is, who would be analogous to. I guess we're
He's
all
got a
aware of this
podcast
guy.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We all
Yeah,
kind of know who this guy is.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
What's so they got these two Gonzalez, like Maxwell's taking notes, right? He's got the pen out. He got his notebook. He's like taking notes. Is this like like a prepper compound type situation? Like they had a bunch of Proud Boys up there? Is it just these two guys? Do you have any info on like what we're looking at in total?
Well, it looks like uh he used to have it used to be this big compound where he used to have all these different, like you said, like factions of Proud Boys and stuff like that have come in and out. He's gotten so lax and so comfortable with the fact that he feels like that he is very untouchable, that he only has those two guys now. So it's only those two guys. And like I said, the wire defense, And well, obviously he has cameras as well, but that's something that as far as the if you'd like to, as far as the fence and the cameras, that's something that I can work on if you need help.
Well, given our current political climate, I'm not surprised that it feels comfortable. What what's our cut on this one? Is it the same as usual, or considering the potential revenue that this will bring in, is that what are we looking at?
Well, usually I give you guys a lower percent, but for this one, I'm willing to go to 35%.
I make strong eye contact with the other two guys.
That's 12% for each of us then.
Yeah,
11 point whatever, 75%.
yeah.
Um,
About what about $100,000 or so?
so 10 million. So 35% of that would be 3 million, right? Yeah, so
Is
a
it
million each,
yeah,
right?
million each? Okay, all right,
Yeah.
shit.
Uh,
These
oh,
Gonzalez boys, are they anyone to worry about? Are they ex-military, gangsters, just some fucking Joe Blows?
They are ex. Uh, what what uh, what branch of the service did you say Ryan is in or was in?
Army.
Army. Okay. He'll say that they're ex-Navy SEALs that did the wrong thing and uh, murdered a few of their compatriots. So they were shunned, and they like to deal with knives, no guns. They actually are very good at using a knife.
they should have went
Fucking
and
knobs.
they should have went and wrote some books like the rest of those SEALs. Then they wouldn't be in any trouble. They'd be getting on TV everywhere.
Were we looking at a particular time frame? Is he in town, out of town? Do we have a deadline?
He says, no, there's no timeline. You guys in and out, however you see fit. Uh, Neo doesn't have anything on his schedule for a while now, so it's going to be something where he might actually be around, but he is very much the not the type that will. Uh, well, actually, would he? Actually, no, he wouldn't say that. Let's say that he says, uh, he'll say that the next couple of weeks he actually has some speaking engagements in let's just say he'll say like in Florida. So he's um like Tampa. He's like, yeah, he's got a couple of speaking engagements in Tampa in the next couple of weeks. So the only thing you're gonna have to probably worry about is the Gonzalez brothers and maybe his son if he's there.
Age on his son?
He's 17.
Do you know how big the painting is? Like he's pulling out his phone and like typing in like, the name, the painting name, like he's just trying to pull up some information as he's asking
Mhm.
questions.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
huge wall painting? Is it, like a fucking, 2 foot by 2 foot? Like, what are we
Yeah, let's say it's like a 3 by 3.
3 by 3? Okay. 3 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you expect the frame as well?
Our buyer likes to have everything intact if possible. If you end up damaging the frame, then the value of the painting obviously goes down, as you would know, Maxwell. So it probably would go down at least 30 to 40%.
Understood.
Gonna go to Michael's and pick out some frames, I guess, now too. I'm not a woodworking guy. I'm more the acrylics and oils guy.
And I assume we have like other accounts and stuff already set up for these kinds of drops from him.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep,
Got it.
exactly.
Okay.
Do we have, if this isn't a well-known piece, do you have some good pictures of it? Because obviously we'll need, you said the frame itself. That could be a million different things. Yeah, but obviously I'm gonna need a good view of what this thing is, so I can get to work on it.
Yeah, so like he like as soon as you say that, your phone pings.
Mhm. Nice,
Um,
nice high DPI picture.
Yep, exactly.
Do I stare into the pictures, Kurt, or do I not? Do I just do I?
Make me a psyche check.
All right.
So
We're
you,
gonna
you
have the DL be a 5.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
so I assume you pull it open and then like you expand it
Mhm.
and it expands into
You
the
just
black
Zoom
part
in,
of the
enhance.
daisy. Yeah.
you slide my finger around and move it around. 4.
So a no but missed by one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how this game is
Okay.
played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So it looks like you're actually going to be uh uh don't get me wrong, John, but it looks like we're gonna be doing a shock on
Yeah, let
that.
me pull up the I didn't actually pull it up. So if it's a missed by one, no but, yeah, jam rolls on the shock table. So 2d6.
All right, we're gonna see what kind of shock you get from looking at this piece just through a through a phone.
Mm.
All right, so that's a 3.
I think a 3 is nothing. Yeah, 2 to 4, you're holding it together.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna
Okay.
look at it
Yeah,
and
so
just say,
yeah,
ugh,
for
ugh.
sure. Ugh, what?
Mm.
Ugh. Uh, yeah, so uh even though you're holding it together, the painting looks off. So it looks
Mhm.
like daisies, and then like I said, like it's got the kind of like it almost looks like it, in some of these horror movies when someone goes crazy, they paint those little circles with like the lines that keep going and going and going and going and going, and it looks like it goes forever in that.
Mhm.
And then you kind of look at the ground that it's in, and it looks like it should be like green grass, but it's like dead brown grass,
Mhm.
and it just shows like filthy dirt below that. So it looks almost like a very crude painting. It doesn't look like anything that you would put in your house and be like, "Oh, this is beautiful." Like it looks,
Wow, what
it's
an
not
ugly fucking
terrifying to
painting.
you. Yeah, exactly. It looks
Ugly.
it. The only word I can think of is disgusting. Like you're
Yeah.
just like you're kind of like, ugh.
It doesn't please me aesthetically. And as a
It does not.
as an art ascete, yeah, Grant's like, ugh.
Yeah. And also just by looking at it too, you're like, oh, this is gonna. If I want to forge this is gonna be tough.
Yeah. So Kurt, we're gonna have a separate conversation on the fact that Grant's gonna have to be reproducing this thing. So I don't know if I can be doing shock rolls every 20 minutes. We'll have to try to figure something out because I'm assuming this is gonna affect them, right? So we'll just have to figure out a cool way to do that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We won't do one of those things where you get traumatized every time you do something. It's like for this one, you might get lost into it, and you might actually like
Yeah.
it might affect you a little bit, but it's not gonna.
Yeah,
Not
but
gonna
we'll think of a cool thing
run
narratively
through.
to do. Yeah, because if I shouldn't have picked the art forger, I should have picked something else.
Yeah, yeah,
Reproduce
yeah,
this
yeah.
thing.
You go down,
But
you paint a couple of strokes, you look back at the painting, you're like, ah, fuck. You paint a couple of strokes, look back at the painting, ah, fuck.
So, I'll just so if he's got that weird feeling, right? So it didn't really affect him other than, yeah, this is gross. It, would he? I was gonna say I'll show the guys, but I'll do it like really quickly again. Ooh, this is fucking ugly painting, like really quick, like flashing it, because I guess
If you,
inherently he knows that it's unless Maxwell was looking it up anyways himself too.
I mean, he was pulling it up on his phone as he was asking, but like if your phone pinged, he would like look up. But I assume
Yeah,
you like shrink the picture back so maybe it's not as staggering
yeah.
to us, right?
And
Because
if
you
you
weren't
were,
expecting it and like blew it up and we're like, ah, fuck, that's
yeah,
disgusting. And then you like, hey, this is what we're looking for so we can see the whole picture in total.
Mm,
yeah, and if you were looking it up, I'm sure it's just like a Wikimedia Commons. It's not like a high
Yeah,
resolution or
duck,
whatever
duck, go
picture of it.
search or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. So Grant will just flash and just say, "Ooh, this ugly painting."
Yeah,
Nice.
it's not something I'd want in the gallery.
There's no accounting for one's taste.
Although I wouldn't mind selling it through here. Be a pretty penny.
And he says also also collects a lot of like other different like disturbing things too. Not only the occult, but also very, far right things. So just to warn you as you go in. Oh, also, if you like something that's very spooky, very I don't know if you call this interesting or not, but his house is a replica of H.P. Lovecraft's house.
All right. The one in Providence?
Yes.
Providence. I don't think Grant would have seen that. He would have just heard about the monster guy, but
Hmm.
he's not literature, he's into art, so
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
name and yeah.
Well, I mean that might give us a little bit of a leg up. Unless he's put in some extra hidden rooms or security here and there. We might just have a layout to the house then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right? It's probably a tourist. I was gonna say, John, have you guys gone there? You've gone up to Providence? Have you been to the
I don't think I've ever been in the I've walked by the outside of
but
the house, but they
yeah,
do
tours and stuff?
they might do a tour. I don't know. I think somebody owns like I think it's a private
Yeah.
property now, yeah.
Mhm.
But there might be um uh plans online for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think.
All right, well, that may gives us something to look into for sure. He makes a note, H.P. Lovecraft's house.
Bunch of other
um,
bunch of other weird shit in there.
yeah, I don't. So, do you think, Grant, are we gonna be able to match that frame? Do you think? Like, I trust you to paint the painting.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would say that in the line of work that that we're in, I would think Grant has some connections of woodworkers and stuff like that, right? Because as Kurt said, a painting is a painting, but a lot of paintings, and as Maxwell would know, it is the delivery vehicle of what's in the painting too. A lot of them are maybe just basic wood with some scrolls on and stuff, but yeah. So I'm sure I can dig up or reach out to my contacts to do some woodworking to replicate that.
I could even take a look in the back here and see if we have
Yeah, if it is just a bog
something that's
standard, yeah.
close. Yeah,
Yeah, and I guess
yeah.
Kurt, we'll leave that up to you whenever we get into the actual creating the stuff, what kind of frame it is, and roles to recreate it, and all that kind of jazz, or investigation to find someone. We can play that out
Yeah, for
as long
sure.
as it's not anything too. It's not like solid gold with all kinds of like intricate stuff in it. I'm sure we'll be able to recreate it.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely say it's probably not it, the frame probably goes with the painting
Yeah,
itself. It's
yeah,
probably very like old wood, kind of disgusting looking, kind of,
mhm,
you can tell it's from a certain time period.
yeah. Cool. yeah, then we can just play that out when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
for sure.
with in the line of work we're in that we definitely know people who can do that for us.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark this so that we have it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's just on Zillow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Just so everybody watching knows, the Jesse just sent the link for the house on Zillow. So that's make sure we
yeah.
have that so we know exactly what that house looks like.
I'm not even
Mhm.
going to comment on the price of this historical house, what the average cost of a fucking house is over here. I'll just leave
Right.
that to people's imagination. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
neither
I'm
here
sure it's
nor
cheap.
there.
It is over $500,000.
Jeez.
1,400
That's
square feet.
nothing for Massachusetts. For New England, that's nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I was
That's
going to
Yeah,
say.
Especially
it's
for a
true.
historic house. I
right.
would imagine that's actually on the cheaper end, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. I think Menards' house over here is over that is around that much, so it's insane.
Uh, is there anything?
yeah, I don't think there's anything Grant needs from Coy, right? So I don't think there's anything else. He's got his information, he's got the picture. That's the most important thing, right? He's got a good picture of it to start working on it. We talked about timelines, we talked about cut. I don't think there's anything in Grant's mind other than just, the thing in the back of his mind. So he'll look at Coy and go, look, we know who the scumbag is that we're going to go up against. You know, I can't wait till once this is all done because all the guys on the job sites love this fucking guy. I can't wait to hear the rampage this guy's going to go on. Oh wait, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want him to know at all. Never mind. I'll take that back. There'll be a part of Grant that will keep it inside and giggle every time
Yeah.
he hears this
Yeah.
guy
Grant
screaming and
Grant
yelling. Right?
yeah, Grant will always know inside.
Yeah,
Mm,
he got one over on you. Yeah, this isn't a smash and grab. This is hopefully he never knows because then we'll have done our job good.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I can't think of anything. Ryan, it looks like maybe your skills are going to come in quite handy.
So, as it seems like you guys are kind of winding down, he on his screen flashes a phone number and he says, if you guys need anything, if you need me to shut down the fence or the cameras or whatever, you let me know. Just send my name to this phone number and I'll get a hold of you. I'll help you out.
I copied down on my notebook.
Yeah. Take a screenshot on the tablet. I hold down the home button and the volume up and take a screenshot.
Does Ryan send the like does he send the link to our phones? Like do we have that like right in the moment?
Oh no, Ryan wouldn't have. Ryan has a dumb phone. He doesn't.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a Jesse thing, not a Ryan thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I want to clarify, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
It says in our chat, it says Ryan Locke.
yeah. Yeah, so I think Maxwell says we have some things to look up and research. I guess you want a heads up before we go. I mean, having you loop the cameras or cut the gate. I don't know how noticeable that's going to be on his end, but if that's something that you can do, it certainly makes it easier for us to get in.
Yeah.
You know what? I can help you anytime you need.
I know this is all business, right? And I think we're here. Look, I love my job. I enjoy it. I get a bit of the thrill putting it over on people. But this fucking guy, I'm gonna really love putting it over on. I just want to make sure that whoever this piece of shit's going to You know, in I don't want to be, doing something that's of value and giving it to some guy who's on the scumbag level as this guy. So not that it really matters here or here, right? You don't give a shit what I'm feeling or what our vibes are, but yeah. If this could go to someone who's not as big as dickhead as this guy, then it'd make me feel a bit better.
Hey Grant, like if you feel the money's too dirty, you could just donate it to Southern Poverty Law Center. We'll get them
Well,
coming and going.
I'll do a percentage, not the whole bit. I got paints to buy. And I think that's just a more if Coy is a bit more, I'm sure he never tells us, hey, look, you guys are going to steal this and this is who I'm going to sell it to, kind of thing. But if there is
Yeah.
any kind of, feel
There's
he has,
buyers. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And basically, with Coy that he's going to, if you're gonna steal something, it's gonna go to somebody that deserves it more than the person you're stealing it
he's got a heart of gold, and right, he's altruistic.
from.
So
Ish.
before he hangs up, Ryan, actually, do we have an H hour on this? Are we looking at a timeline at all?
Kurt is asking this. Are you asking like, is there a certain amount of time you need to do it by or something? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like do we have like how much is this like something that has to be done within the next 24 hours, or is it like do we have
Yeah.
days to plan? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that I answered that question at the beginning, and then he said there's no timeline, so you guys can
oh,
do
dude,
it
okay,
however you
I
want
must
to
have
do
missed
it.
that.
I
Yep,
think
yep.
you said he's going to be gone for a couple weeks coming up, right? I think that's the couple
That's
weeks thing
right.
I
Yep.
heard
So
was,
that,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah. So that'll be a good time to do it if you feel like it.
yeah. This ain't going to be a 24-hour
He
job,
doesn't.
guys.
He doesn't give a shit how you do it. He just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm a good painter. I'm not that quick of a painter. I got to sleep too, but yeah, I'll make sure I get it done as soon as we can.
Yeah, and you've had some things in the past where there are time limits to it, depending upon certain things. But
Yeah.
this one's open.
I mean, obviously, if he's going to be gone for the next few weeks, it does kind of narrow the window in that it's probably easier to do it during
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So he marks down like couple of weeks question mark, like today, today's date, projects out like 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, I think we can work back from that window. And what I'll do is I'll go I'll go start making some calls for the frame, and I'll go start doing some mock-ups and test runs on this replication, and I'll give you guys a vibe in the next day or so. But it looks like a piece of shit, so I'm sure it's not going to take too long.
All right. Well, we definitely have some stuff to research. So see what kind of information we can find online and I guess reconvene.
I think maybe Grant, you sound like you're going to be busy. Maxwell, if you want to see if you can get in touch with these Gonzalez brothers, guys said that they throw parties a lot. Maybe that's your in. You can get eyes on the prize. We can work backwards from there.
Not
And,
sure it's my kind of party, but
And make it your kind of party then. And meanwhile, I'll see if I can set up a hide, get a lay of the land, and see exactly what we're dealing with. See how we can get around and about.
no,
How long did we? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I assume he gave us the address. We didn't have to ask for that.
No.
I want you to go steal this painting. Okay.
First thing is find out where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
he
did we
gives you all the
say?
pertinent information.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
To Mobile. We looked last week, but I forget drive time.
Probably going to be
Oh,
a couple
Christ.
hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah, I
an
was
hour
gonna
and a
say
half. I can't remember exactly.
yeah, yeah, 50 to 60 miles. So yeah, it's not too long away. So my
Yep.
assumption was
Not too bad.
Ryan's gonna be dirt biking up there and driving around the area, I guess, a bit.
Now, for a long drive like that, he'll take the CJ. Top down, of course.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that yeah, you guys kind of do it kind of like now, it does like the split screen. Like Maxwell kind of looks into the Gonzalez brothers like pensively, like is like, okay, is this something I want to do? I don't know if I want to do it. Uh Ryan, takes his other vehicle and kind of tours the compound, and it's not anything that's going to be obvious even if you weren't trying to be obvious, because there's people that probably drive by it and either flip it off or like, salute it or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Grant is like frantically looking online or going to like Lowe's Depot or something like that to look at certain woods and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And we'll just kind of fade to black there and we'll call it there.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Well, pretty good for a session one. We got into a lot of different things kind of going into this campaign or whatever, and meeting all the characters, having them all kind of get together with each other and stuff like that. So it'll be fun to see where it goes from there.
Lots of rolling too. That's odd for us.
Yeah.
I didn't roll shit.
I only rolled against Jesse.
Well, well, there's just a lot of good opportunities there for certain things. So it's like, why not?
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our first psyche check in the first session.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I should have
Nothing
picked
bad happened. That was a shocker. I thought for sure something was bad was going to happen right away.
Yeah.
I should have paid more attention to Kurt when he described what we were going to be doing, but I picked the guy that was the forger. That's my fault.
That's awesome. He's just going to be, you're going to be up all hours of the night painting and painting and painting. It's going to be
Right.
great.
Wearing tissue boxes on my feet and letting my hair grow out.
We'll go over to the house and there'll just be swirls on all of the walls.
Right. Swirls on
Everything,
swirls.
Yeah. Do you see the daisies? Do you? Do you? Oh, that's perfect.
You
So,
look closer,
yeah,
it's his
thank you.
own blood. It's just,
Yeah.
Oh, gross. It's turned brown because it's old now.
right, yeah.
I needed to match the color,
Yucky.
guys. Don't judge.
Just compare and contrast.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening. John, what's going on at the Legends of Tabletop?
Nothing. We're not doing anything in May, I don't think. We have a couple of ongoing campaigns. We have a runners campaign, which is a game designed and written by Jesse. That's I don't know, like a 4-year ish.
It's probably almost 5 years at this point.
It's forever. I think we got one more season of that going to be coming up. We're in season 3, I think, right now.
Mhm.
We have an on again, off again Deadlands campaign, which we're trying to figure out what to do with currently. We have an on again, off again Call of Cthulhu campaign. There are some other random things like Core Cthulhu. Jesse ran a pretty cool one shot a couple of months ago. And that's kind of it. We have t-shirts for sale. I have my t-shirt. They're, like general resist, we resist kind of thing, because fascism can suck dick, and like we're in the worst timeline. So, support people as you can. Donate to your local food bank if you can. Your trans shelters, whatever mutual aid stuff, like just as much as you can do those things are immensely important considering the timeline that we're in. So if you can, that's awesome. Proceeds from the t-shirts we donate, so like we're not making any money on that. But yeah, um, cool. Fuck Nazis, I guess. I don't know.
Heck yeah. So Jesse, you got runners running. You know, you're still working on the book for that. We're still playing that. Do you say we're literally in the 5th year of playing that, or is it the 5th year of you writing
No,
it?
it's I mean, it's my
I can look
5th
it
year
up.
of making it, but we're probably in our 3rd year of
Yeah.
playing that, right? It's been a
Mhm.
while.
Yeah,
At
it's
least 3
crazy.
years. Oh, I'll
Yeah,
tell you in
yeah,
one
yeah.
second.
It's all been great. So
Let's see. Our first runners game was 4 years ago.
Holy shit.
wow, holy crap!
It's still loading. Hold on. Our first
Still
game
loading,
was
buffering.
a play test with Kevin,
Oh,
Kurt,
ignore
and
that
me
one, yeah.
and Jesse running on
Yeah.
December 5th, 2021.
All right.
Wow.
Holy crap!
Our
That's
actual
crazy.
campaign was, yeah, 3 years ago.
Oh, so there we go, yeah.
Wow.
Jesse is correct.
Yep. So you'll
That was May
you'll see
29th,
all of us on that
2022.
runners.
Oh yeah.
We also had
Very
Dan
cool.
from Fandible for one session.
For the session 0.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Kevin, what
Hey,
about
we
you? Any
wouldn't have had Ingram if it
recommendations?
wasn't for
Anything
him.
that you're
So
into right
he
now?
did his job.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Nope, just rolling with whatever we want to come up and play and creating characters for them. So I'm just here to
Nice.
come along for the ride, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. If you like this, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications because we're randomly coming up and playing these games. I don't really have a weekly, monthly schedule. We just kind of do it when everyone's available. So make sure you do that. Make sure you rate and review, share it with people, please, because otherwise it doesn't get out to anybody. Because I only share it on my pages, and that's about it. So. Do that if you can. Also, listen to our podcast, the MFG Cast, where we kind of switch between RPGs and board game stuff. We've got our Core Noir RPG campaign going on with John. We've got our Time After Time D&D campaign. Recently, we just recorded an episode about the Finspan board game, which is, I think, now I've been talked into it by my other players that it is a better version than Wingspan is. So, yeah, it's a fun little game. So, if you're into that, make sure you check that out. And until next time, we'll see ya.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.